the documentary, and then how you've been censored because of it,
cool.
and then where people can still find it.
Cool.
I got late, stuck in a meeting. Sorry.
Fine.
I did watch it last night, but I was 3 sheets to the wind, so I don't remember much about it. Just the fucking spying on you and trying to set you up.
It proves everything we say. It proves it all in one documentary. Evidence, undercover footage, changing allegations, sexual allegations, everything's all there.
Okay, do you have an external mic?
No.
Okay, how far away is the laptop?
Is this better?
Keep talking, please, sir.
Is that better if I sit here?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay, cool.
Okay, let's do it, Tommy. I'm going to bring you in. Let's go, guys.
Can't hear anything, boys.
You're listening to the Alex Jones Show, the most demonized, the most censored, the most attacked broadcast in the world. I'm your host, Alex Jones. And joining us exclusively is a living folk hero, Tommy Robinson from jolly old England, political prisoner, the man that first exposed giant Muslim child kidnapping sex rings and murder 13 years ago, imprisoned repeatedly for documenting it and exposing it. Now the worldwide phenomenon is mainstream news. Thousands have been convicted in Europe and in the UK, but now it's coming here. But he made a documentary, undercover, exposing the incredible MI5, MI6 interface with so-called leftist NGOs. And suddenly, a day after it was released and got millions of views, it was taken off Facebook, it was taken off many other platforms. So this story is about censorship, about infiltration, about criminal espionage that makes the COINTELPRO of the FBI in the 60s and 70s and 80s look tame in comparison. So we're going to play large excerpts of this censored documentary, but joining us for this segment, the next, is Tommy Robinson to tell us about the film, where they can see it, where they can find it, and clips of it are coming up, and then how it's just a continuation with the censorship, all coordinated the day after it went viral. Tommy, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me on, Alex.
Please tell us about the film, the name of it. It's linked up on Infowars.com, and what it covers.
It's called Panodrama. That's a name taken from the BBC have their flagship investigative journalist programme is called Panorama. Now, they were targeting me. Now, when I come out of prison, my PayPal was removed, my Twitter had been removed, I'd been unlawfully put in prison, and I was not aware to the levels or the sinister levels that they were about to go to try to discredit me to my entire country. When I found out that they were blackmailing people, I had ex-employees saying they'd been intimidated, blackmailed, they'd used leverage and information they had on those employees to threaten them into helping them bring me down. When that all became apparent, I then worked with another ex-employee to go undercover onto Panorama. She wore undercover cameras, which got the lead investigative journalist for Panorama saying on camera he would clip footage so it fitted the narrative of me being a dominant male. He would make it an innocent argument that we said we had on dictaphone about a demonstration. He said on camera, I will make this into a sexual thing against Tommy Robinson. That's what he clearly said. So and there was so much more in undercover footage which proved to the world the BBC work with an organisation called Hope Not Hate, who work hand in hand with the entire mainstream media, CNN, the BBC, the Guardian, the Independent. Hope Not Hate are working with them. In fact, the main man from Hope Not Hate, he actually sat on a documentary previously with Panorama as a director of it. And so I proved categorically, with evidence and with undercover footage, that the BBC were creating and inventing news in order to destroy and ruin me. And they were doing that in conjunction with a third party who are George Soros funded anti-global. They attack anyone who speaks out against immigration or Islam. And my documentary went out 24 hours ago. It had 1.5 million views, and today I've been deleted from the internet. And everyone who shared that documentary with major profiles, from Raheem Kassan to Brian of London in Israel to UKIP, leading UKIP figures, have all been deleted today. Simply because, and I urge any American who watches this documentary, you can find it on my YouTube channel, Tommy Robinson. I urge anyone who watches this, this is the proof. It's what we all knew. We know what the mainstream media are. But this proves it, with undercover recordings that prove their contempt for all of us. And their willingness to discredit and change and clip and edit and lie to the entire world in order to destroy someone who's going against their narrative.
Well, it came out in the British newspapers, as you know, about a month ago. Zero Hedge reported on it here. Infowars.com reported on Tommy that MI5, MI6, and then the German intelligence are interfacing and paying journalists to put out fake news, to infiltrate nationalist and patriot groups, to target you, to target myself. And so these are private intelligence operations, but interface with government so that if they get caught, it won't be as criminal. And so people have to understand, it's called Countering Disinformation Propaganda Act that Obama put in before he left, and it set up these intelligence agency groups with hand-picked people from the globalist system that are actually doing it. And they talk about how they first demonize you, then they go out and pay people to file lawsuits on you, then they buy off and bribe the people involved in the lawsuits. We've now got evidence of this about to come out. And then that's how they railroad people into prison. So they're planning on me as well.
Well, in fact, what you had with my former employees was Hope Not Hate, who work with the government, who work with the Obama administration, who are advisors to counter-terrorism. They actually sat my former employees down and said, we now advise counter-terrorism. Theresa May has just given permission for counter-terrorism to tackle the far right. We will put you in prison. And all of this I have on tape. All of this is recorded. All of these allegations, plus far more worse ones, is all on an hour-long feature-length documentary and film, which when this has gone out, they haven't known what to do. For years they've tried to silence me. For years they've put me in prison. For years Twitter, PayPal, any ability for people to support me has been taken away. And then now, their final punch was going to be Panorama. The reason they were using Panorama is the most respected BBC broadcast in the world. What Panorama says is the truth. They are known for finding the truth. By having Panorama destroy me with false allegations which are made up against women, would discredit me to the nation. When that hasn't worked because I've gone undercover and exposed it, they simply deleted me the next day from the internet.
And again, not injecting InfoWars into this, we're part of the story. We have the exact same operations happening. They have NPR spending months where I grew up in Dallas, and I thought they'd have some interesting stories actually going through my yearbook and calling everyone. No, they called me with totally made up stories that I was a bully beating up innocent people, and then the school tied me up and took me out in the forest and knocked my teeth out. I've never had my teeth knocked out. And it was whole cloth not true. I mean, so this is the level. And I know they've been having private investigators trying to find women, offering people money, paying people, the Daily Mail to tell just insane total lies. This is their move on nationalists and patriots that stand up for their criminal activity.
Oh, it's happening across the world. That's what I said. I sat back and watched when it happened to you, Alex. Then it happened to Gavin McGuinness. It's happened to Milo. It's happening to us all. And the thing is, I knew this was coming. I knew it was coming. But even today, people who have put up, I am Tommy Robinson, they've been warned and removed. The censorship is, and to be so blatant, for everyone who watched that documentary in the last 24 hours, 1.5 million people, the outrage was there. People were outraged that the BBC, the licence fee, we pay for that. The public broadcast was working with Hope Not Hate, a far left extremist organisation funded by George Soros, are working hand in hand to manufacture news, to lie. And exactly as you just said, they actually, one ex-female employee of mine is on camera saying she had to argue with them not to run false stories about sexual stories to do with me. That's how deep this was. And they know if they throw enough mud, it sticks. If this document...
I talked to people that were on the phone, known journalists who want to go public, about individuals on the phone with the lawyers, with one of the people that made stuff up about me in the newspaper, saying, no. People don't care if you got fired wrongfully. They want sex. Tell us he's tried to have sex with you because you're a man.
What they done with?
It's not John Ronson that did that. It was other folks. But it's just getting insane.
What they done with the girl and said, was he ever in your bedroom? They asked her where. She said, yeah, of course he was in my bedroom at some point. And then said, okay, well we've gone back through footage and he jokingly videos your bum. And then they put all these things together and they're trying to run a story on it. And she's saying, you can't run that story. Like they're fighting, arguing with her. It's gone to our editor.
And let's be clear, you know about this because of good people inside the system being whistleblowers, and that's the Achilles heel of the globalists. They can't censor us all. Tommy Robinson with the bombshell film, Panorama, when we come back on the other side. Then we're going to play the censored film here for you. They haven't shut down InfoWars yet. Not yet.